which is carry handle sight, short barrel, aka light barrel, vertical grip, ballistics tracker, and 5.56. As you can see, you get aimbot. Oh my gosh. I wasn't trolling. You get aimbot. So hello gamers and welcome back to another video. So continuing my ranking series, this time I'm going to be ranking all of the sniper rifles, and a lot of people have been asking me to rank these 1 to 10, so that's what I'm going to do now. But yeah, let's start it off with the intervention. Now the intervention did get a change in the previous update. Basically what they gave it is a little bit less one-shot range. It can now one-shot to 120 studs instead of... That's rough. What the frig? All right, instead of 150, but they gave it 5 more RPM. So now it has 45. And also with the new scope update, you can now use some of these scopes without having to run a straight pull bolt. So 45 RPM is actually pretty high. I'm not going to lie for what this gun can actually do. It has very high bullet velocity. I think it's 3,600 right now, but 120 stud, one hit kill torso range is great. This is one of the best snipers overall in the game, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. If you like just basically an overall great sniper rifle, this is the one for you. Before it was kind of more the Remington 700, but we'll talk about that one when we get to it, because I don't think that one's actually that good right now. Okay, another limb hit, crazy. Next up, the Remington 700. So basically what you're getting with this one is about 30 to 40 studs, less one hit kill range than the intervention, and I guess you get 5 more RPM. It is not a lot faster than the intervention. The bullet velocity is also significantly lower. It has significantly lower pen, and it has significantly lower limb damage. The intervention, it has 90 limb damage and then 80 all ranges, which is kind of crazy because that basically gives you the ability to kill anybody who has 90 health or lower, which is kind of crazy. And then at range, you can actually hit somebody once with a Glock 17 after limbing them and still get the kill. Oh my gosh, I can't aim. So yeah, this Remington, it's pretty good. Like, it's not a bad sniper by any means, but I do not really recommend it. And the reason for that is 5 RPM is not worth all the downsides, in my opinion. It's not a bad sniper. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, which is not that high, but it's really not that good. I don't know. Now, before I get on to the next one, we need to talk about the Model 732 ACP. Now, a lot of people are going to complain in the comments like, why didn't you talk about this one? So I will. This is basically a worse version of the Steyr Scout 5.56. It has less RPM. It has a smaller magazine. It has significantly lower bullet velocity. Yes, it's lower rank than the Steyr Scout, but I'm not going to rank these based off of the rank you unlock them. That's not how this works. Basically going to be talking about how good they are. So that one's not very good. Next up, we have the AWS. Now with default ammo, this gun is really interesting. It has almost 70 RPM, which is really, really high. Bullet velocity is not the best, but it's not terrible either. And it has a one-shot kill to the torso of 50 studs, which is not very far, but it fires very, very quickly. So yes, between this and the Remington, I would definitely recommend this one. If you want a fast sniper rifle, if you want a good torso kill range, this one is not for you. However, it's also very quiet by default. But also, all the sniper rifles, there's really no downside to running a suppressor on them, so may as well just have a suppressor on a different sniper. But this gun does sound cool, which is nice. Overall, it's not the best sniper rifle in the game, but I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. The reason for that is it's integrally suppressed, it fires really quickly, and it does pretty good damage for the fire rate. Overall, I do not recommend it over stuff like, well, we'll get onto the SVDS later, but this is still a very good sniper. It also has the subsonic conversion. Now, this basically has a 40 stud torso kill range that goes away, then comes back at 130, and then basically you do 80 damage. You can still one-shot torso, but then at 240 studs, you can limb kill with this gun. However, it has a really, really bad bullet velocity of, I think, like 1,000. This is some of the lowest bullet velocity in the game. 9mm and 45 SMGs have more bullet velocity than this. However, it does have a very far torso kill range, and as long as you use it basically outside of that sweet spot where it can't one-shot to the torso, it's really good. And then at very, very far ranges, it can actually one-hit kill limb, which even the BFG can't do at very far range, which is very interesting for sure. Overall, is it really the best? I would give this one honestly a 9 out of 10. I'm going to rank the conversions differently from the actual guns. As long as you aim super high up, you're actually going to do really, really well with this gun, I won't lie. Okay, next up we have the BFG 50. Now the BFG 50, it can one-hit kill to the limbs to 50 studs, and other than that, that is the only upside of using it over a different 50 cal, because it one-shots torso all ranges, 3,000 muzzle velocity, and 10 studs of pen. That's what every sniper rifle in the 50 cal category has, so there's really no reason to use this one. I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 10. Yes, it is a low rank weapon, so you could say like, well, I don't have the Hecate, so I can't use that one right now, but that's not part of my ranking. The rank of the weapon is not going to go into my logic on if it's good or not, okay? And this one is just not good. It is one of my favorite snipers in the game. I really like using it because it's very funny, but it is not good. I would not recommend you pre-buy it. I would not really even recommend you use it. It's actually the worst sniper in the game, but it is pretty fun. Now, this has a few different conversions. First off, 416 Barrett basically gives you more muzzle velocity, more pen at the cost of damage. And yeah, it's not very good because the 50 cals already have a lot of pen and muzzle velocity. Yes, you do have 4,700, which is ridiculous velocity, but 3,600 with the long barrel is already good, so you don't really need it. Lap ammo gives you really high bullet velocity and very, very high pen at 24 studs. However, you have no torso multi, so you can only one-shot headshot with this. It's also very bad. Don't use it. Rat shot is a shotgun conversion that has really, really good range for a shotgun in terms of damage ranges, but it's really not that good. It does do 25 damage per pellet and has 10 pellets. But the spread itself is really not that good, and yeah, you only get one bullet. I could see maybe running Rat Shot on like the Hecate or something because it fires faster, but overall, this is not really going to kill any further than a regular shotgun, and you only get one bullet. So this is probably a 1 out of 10. I'd honestly give all of the conversions that this gun has a 1 out of 10, simply because they remove your torso multi or just make it a really bad shotgun, so there's really no point in running them. Yeah, it one-shots, but so does every other shotgun. Next up, the AWM. Now, the AWM on its own is actually terrible right now. It is so freaking bad. And this is why, okay? 45 RPM. Now, 41 with the marksman kit, which is what I'm running. You don't have to run that. But that's the same as the intervention. And the intervention can kill significantly further with the torso. This does way less limb damage. It's really bad. With the default ammo, this is actually like a 4 out of 10 sniper. There's essentially no reason to ever run it. However, it's very loud and it sounds cool. And I have Op Asimov loadout on it right now, which is pretty cool, but overall, yeah, this gun sucks. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of my higher kill sniper rifles. I used to love running this gun, but right now it just needs a bit. I'm not gonna lie, it's just not good. Please, Stylus Studios, buff this weapon. However, the op conversion is pretty interesting. It does have Norma, which Norma is a conversion that is essentially like the 416 Barrett, where you get a lot less like overall performance with your gun in terms of damage, but you do get better bullet velocity and penetration depth. But yeah, don't run it. So I'd probably give that one like a 2 out of 10. However, 308 makes your weapon the op. Now I'm gonna run a suppressor because this gun is really freaking loud to run in a video. But yeah, you actually get 58 RPM with this and very high bullet velocity. Quite a bit slower version of the AWS that has better bullet velocity. So yeah, you're looking at about 55 studs or 60 studs of one hit kill torso range and better bullet velocity. So this is kind of up there with the AWS. I'd say it's a little bit lower. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's not great. It is pretty decent, but I would not really recommend it in the current meta, simply because, yeah, we're going to get onto the SVDS, and the SVDS is better this in basically every way, but it is still not a bad sniper rifle, except with default ammo. With default ammo, it's just an intervention that does no damage. Next up, the TRG-42. Now, I still have a super old loadout on this gun, because to be real, this gun kind of fell off. Basically, this is a very, very slow, not super far torso killing sniper rifle. Shoots slower than an intervention. As you can see, 40 RPM, very, very slow. I couldn't even shoot there. Now you can shoot again. It's very, very slow. This is without a marksman kit either, which is insane. But the main upside of this is that it can actually one-hit kill limb very far, which is nice. It's about 60 studs, which is cool because you can hit somebody in the foot and kill them. However, honestly, I don't really hit a lot of limb hits. I mean, if you're hit markering with the intervention a lot, I guess you can use this, but overall, I give this gun probably like a 5 out of 10. It doesn't actually one-hit kill to the torso as far as the intervention. Not even close, like 50% less. And it has the limb kill, but it's not really that useful. However, it does have a few conversions. Norma is once again very, very bad, especially on this one because you get 90 damage. This is like a 0 out of 10. Frick this conversion, never use it. However, TRG-22 kit is kind of like an op. You actually get much higher RPM, as you can see, fast reload, and 10 rounds. If you kind of like a really weird looking op conversion that's actually kind of a little bit better, I would recommend this. This is like an 8 out of 10. The torso kill range is actually pretty solid. It's about 60 studs as well. Bullet velocity is really good at 2800. Really good penetration depth. Honestly, not a bad conversion at all. I don't see it that often anymore, but I used to see it quite a bit. And then we have the TRG-S kit. So basically, this one you get a little bit more RPM, but only by 2. You get down to 4 bullets. However, this can one-hit kill to the limbs to 90 studs and one-hit kill torso to 100 studs, which is actually not that bad. It is lower than the intervention, and it still fires slower than the intervention. So I'm going to give this one probably a 7 out of 10. It's not super great, but if you do want a really far limb hit range, it's not not that bad, you know? I think if you're playing this like kind of closer range and you're only going for just one shots, it'd be pretty good. Close range. Oh my gosh, it shoots so freaking slow. It's so slow. Next up, though, we have the Mosin. Now, the Mosin is an interesting gun right now. By default, this does have 70 RPM, which is pretty good. But you gotta remember, that is very close to the AWS. In fact, it's only one more than the AWS. Now, the muzzle velocity is quite a bit higher, but this doesn't have a one-hit kill torso at all. Like, it only is a one-hit kill headshot. Now, the handling is really good, so I'll give this one a 7 out of 10, but right now, the default Mosin is actually not that good, considering the AWS just has one less fire rate, a little bit worse handling, but it can one-shot torso, which is pretty interesting. The Mosin is by no means a bad sniper. It's very fun to use, for sure. I really like the handling of it. The one-shot kill to the head is really nice, but overall, I would not really recommend this one if you're going for, you know, function over style, you know? This is a style over function sniper rifle. Okay, then we have the 8mm conversion on the Mosin. Now, this conversion used to be insanely good because you kept the same RPM and had a 150 stud one-hit kill range, which was really good. Now, this doesn't have a one-hit kill headshot all ranges. It also has only 50 RPM, but the torso kill range is actually pretty good. However, you have to single load your bullets, which is really weird. It also doesn't one-hit kill headshot over range, which is really annoying. And 50 RPM isn't really the greatest. If you basically want to use a Mosin without any skill at all, then yeah, this is for you. Other than that, it's like a 5 out of 10. Then we have the 410 bore conversion, which is a very goofy shotgun conversion. It does 31 damage to 9 damage with a pellet count of 6. Now, this is honestly a terrible conversion, but if you want to like hide your cursor or something, maybe you could pretend that you were using a default Mosin and go for clips with it or something, because it does still have 70 RPM, which is kind of funny. However, it's a pretty dookie shotgun. Yeah, wow, that was crazy. It was funny because people are like, Mosin shotgun, that's awesome, but yeah, it's really not good at all. I think they could have gone with something more of like a actual sniper conversion, like a sniper shotgun. Maybe it had like 3 pellets. I don't know. Oh my gosh, what the? Okay, I'm just lagging. Also, the reload is a lot slower, which is annoying. I don't know. It's not very good for sure, but it is kind of fun. I actually kind of prefer it over the default Mosin simply because it's funny, but yeah, it's like a 4 out of 10. In terms of snipers, it's terrible. In terms of shotguns, it's also kind of bad. Like, there's a lot of shotguns that fire a lot faster that can one-shot a lot farther. But next up, we have the Dragunov SVDS. Yes, 10 out of 10. I don't really have to explain. This is a 280 RPM sniper right now, which will probably get a nerf sometime, I hope. That can still one-shot kill torso. Yes, it has like 4 times the RPM of the Mosin, but it can one-shot people, and the Mosin can't one-shot people. It also still can one-shot headshot all ranges, and you can basically play it like a regular sniper. Yes, the recoil is bad. Wow, I just crashed. That's insane. It's not even just pretty much the best sniper in the game. It just is the best sniper in the game. It still has good bullet velocity, and it still one-shots headshot all ranges. It has basically no downside right now, other than the fact that it has like some recoil to it, but it's really not that important because like you can just play it like a normal sniper, still basically spam people like crazy whenever you want to, which is really fun. Like, yeah, that's high skill. You can tap people at range with it. You can run it with a scope. You can run it like basically a faster shotgun. And it doesn't matter because all of those playstyles are pretty viable with the weapon because it just fires so quick. Hopefully, they're going to fix this in the future. I hope they revert it. It used to have like 60 RPM and a decent one-hit kill range. It can still one-hit kill torso, which is crazy. I thought they were going to remove that. They might still remove the one-hit kill torso. I hope they don't do that because that would kind of ruin the gun for me. It does have 2 conversions. First off is 10 by 3.5 millimeter. Now, this cannot one-shot torso at all. However, what you do get is very low recoil and the ability to essentially 2-shot people all ranges and 1-shot headshot. So if you're running this for long range, this is great. If you're running it for closer range, it's not that good, I'm not gonna lie. It has essentially reverse damage where it gets more damage over range. I've seen a lot of people asking me if I would recommend this conversion. I honestly wouldn't really recommend it. However, it's still a 10 out of 10 because for snipers, it's insane right now, right? But if you're running it close range, it's not going to be very good. So yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because it's still amazing, but it is not, in my opinion, as good as the default. Next up, we have the 9.6 by 53 millimeter conversion, the SVDS. This basically gives you, in exchange for really bad damage over longer ranges and really bad bullet velocity, a slightly further one-hit kill to the torso range. Now, this conversion is pretty interesting because yeah, this is more of the opposite of the previous conversion where it's basically only good for close range. You get a better headshot multiplier and pretty similar recoil. I think a little bit more, but not much. Yeah, if you want to one-shot people up close more, but then basically have much worse bullet velocity, this conversion is for you. I'd still give it a 10 out of 10. However, I wouldn't really recommend it, but all these conversions are a 10 out of 10. I don't know what to tell you. So it used to not be able to one-shot headshot all ranges, but for some reason it still can, which is a little goofy. I still wouldn't really recommend it because the bullet velocity is so freaking low, but it is pretty nice. So next up, we have the M1903. Now this sniper, I actually ranked it number 2 when I was actually ranking the snipers a while ago. And that's not really as true anymore. I think the sniper rifle meta has shifted a little bit. Okay. It has a very high pen at 5 studs, very high bullet velocity at 3000. It has 55 RPM and it can one-shot torso to 75 studs. So basically, if you want the AWM but better in every way, it's kind of what this is right now. It also has an air service mag, which will lower your fire rate, but will give you 25 rounds with no reserve ammo. So if you're going to go for feeds and stuff, that's honestly like the best gun in the game for that. This gun is really good. I'd probably give it a 8 out of 10 simply because I think the intervention at this point is kind of a little bit better. With the faster fire rate and stuff. I wouldn't really use this one all the time, but if you do want an overall sniper that basically has like 0 downsides to being used, this gun is very good. I haven't really seen it a lot lately, which is pretty interesting, but it's still very, very good. Also, this gun sounds really cool, which I like. You know, I like guns with a cool sound effect. It just handles really well. So this is the Peterson device on this gun, and basically what it gives you is 540 RPM, a 40 round mag, 36 damage with no special multi, so it can 2-shot kill headshot. This is a bad loadout for it, but essentially a really, really weird semi-auto DMR conversion. It's basically the weirdest conversion of any of the sniper conversions. Weirder than a shotgun conversion, in my opinion, because I don't even know what it's doing to your gun, man. It's not very good. It does 20 min. I would not recommend this. So I give that one probably like a 3 out of 10. It's not good. I would not recommend it ever. But then we have the K14. Now the K14 right now is pretty interesting. It has really awful damage over range, but it can one-shot kill to the head. It does have really low recoil, 70 RPM in 10 rounds. But you know what else has really low recoil, 70 RPM, but actually does like damage over range? Yeah, that's right, the AWS. Now this gun is honestly not that bad, but the AWS is so much better, and this just has like really awful bullet velocity, and I think it does 34 min damage, which is pretty sad. It does have enough headshot multi to one-shot headshot at range, which makes it not that bad, but I would give this one probably a 5 out of 10. It's really not good. And the AWS is lower rank as well by like 3 times, right? It's like a rank 130. What are you even looking at, bro? You shot me and then you looked away. Then we have the 308 Winchester conversion on the K14. Now this basically lowers your RPM down to 60, but does give you much, much higher bullet velocity, great penetration depth, 55 min damage, so it can 2-hit kill limb again at range, but only 5 rounds. Now this is honestly not a bad conversion at all. I would give this one honestly like a 7 out of 10. It's not super great at all, to be honest with you. I feel like there's kind of better guns in my opinion. I would probably recommend the M1903 a little bit over than this, but this does fire a little bit faster and has about the same 1-hit kill range, maybe a little bit more, but about the same, which makes it not too terrible to use. It's about a 70 stud, 1-hit kill torso range, 60 RPM instead of 55, so it does have a tiny bit more RPM. Next up though, we have the Hecate or Hecate or whatever you want to call it. This is essentially, do you like the BFG 50? Do you want the BFG 50 but it fires a little bit faster? Then you have this weapon. That's basically all it is. It one-shots to the torso. Very fun. At any range, it has 10 studs of pen, and it has 3k velocity. Just use the weapon now. Just the BFG, but better. I'd give this one probably... Honestly, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I was thinking about giving it a 10, but I think the SVDS is kinda better. The SVDS kind of clears out any other sniper in the game right now. But the fact that this can one-shot kill to the torso at any range... Oh, you started moving then. That's crazy. It makes it, honestly... the best sniper for anybody who sucks at video games. So this does have the same conversions as the BFG 50. I forgot to talk about .17 incinerator. This is 6,000 velocity conversion. Very high bullet velocity. What's the other upside? Nothing. It does so little damage to the body that it makes it kind of fun for getting headshots. But there are faster weapons than 25 RPM that can one-shot headshots. So yeah, just use like the Scout or something, man. Then we have the FT300. Now the FT300 has a bunch of conversions, and I don't really feel like going through them. Now 22 is an interesting one. It gives you 50 rounds and not that great RPM, but you have 50 rounds in your magazine and you can still one-shot headshot. Still probably like a 5 out of 10. I'll give it a 5 simply because, yeah, you have a lot of bullets, and that's nice, but it can't one-shot. I'd actually give it like a 3 out of 10. Next, we have to talk about default. Now, default ammo on this gun is actually not too bad. It has about 130 stud one-hit kill range. However, all these ranges do go down with the marksman kit, which is what gives you 10 bullets. So you can either have much worse one-shot torso range or only 1 bullet, which isn't really that great. It does have 35 RPM, which isn't the worst in the world, but that is lower than the intervention. This has about the same one-hit kill range as the intervention and less RPM. And if you run the marksman kit to have 10 bullets, it will have about the same RPM as the intervention, but then it will have a lower one-shot range. So yeah, this gun is weird. I'd probably give the default ammo probably like a 6 out of 10. It's not too bad. Then you have 6XC, which is the conversion, which gives you a little bit less in terms of your one-hit kill range. However, it gives you higher bullet velocity and pen. Yeah, I'd give this one probably like a 5 out of 10. I don't know why this gun has so many conversions. That kind of sucks. Then we have 7.62. Now, 7.62 conversion is pretty interesting. It basically gives you a 135 stud torso kill range. It's actually about the same as default, and it gives you lower fire rate as well. I'd give this one probably like a 5 out of 10 as well. Then we have 308. I think 308 is the one that people actually kind of like. This gives you about a 130 stud torso kill range, pretty high bullet velocity, decent pen, stuff like that. It is a 6 out of 10. I don't know, man. This gun is just so weird. It was added with so many conversions, and then people didn't really use it except when it first came out, and then it was all right, and then it's not that good anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see anybody using this gun. There's not really a reason to use it right now. It's very high rank as well. It's fine. All right, then we have the M107 or M82 if you are running the muzzle brake on it. Now, I'm gonna actually give a controversial opinion. This gun is like an 8 out of 10. Now, listen to me, okay? This gun is not good in close range, and it's not good at range. Basically, what they did is they gave it a one-hit kill torso of between 100 and 250 studs. So that means if you actually are within that sweet spot, you can one-shot people. Now, I need to go to Desert Storm to show you this. So if you actually get to within the sweet spot, you can basically one-shot everybody you see, which is really crazy for 300 RPM. Because, yeah, this gun fires really quick. It has really, really high penetration depth and bullet velocity. So if you just hang out within this range, you have 5 bullets that are just a one-shot, and it has 300 RPM. It's actually kind of insane. This gun really fell off in a lot of people's eyes, but in my eyes, it's actually still really good, and it's kind of crazy that people aren't using it right now. I think you actually need to put in slight brain power to actually use it, and you can't use it from the back of the map anymore because of that not infinite one-hit kill range. It's pretty interesting right now that it's actually like still insanely good, and nobody's talking about how good it is, not gonna lie. But yeah, I still would probably recommend the Hecate if you're just not that good, because you actually have to think about using this weapon. You actually have to not camp in the back of the map and not point blank shoot people either. You actually have to play an angle where you're actually within the one-hit kill range. But then if you are, it's actually like really freaking good. Or you can hit headshots as well, but it's not really the best headshotting sniper because the recoil is so high, but it can one-shot headshot, even close range, which is pretty nice. And also, yeah, it does have 300 RPM now, which is actually really high. Now, it does have a CQB barrel. Now, the CQB barrel does give you a one-hit kill to the torso of about 60 studs, which is not very good, and it actually lowers your RPM down to 120, which is still high RPM. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of better close-range snipers with about the same one-hit kill range, but still have 280 RPM. Oh, wait, that's the SVDS. So, yes. Overall, I give the CQB barrel probably a 4 out of 10. Don't ever use it, man, but you can use the default gun. The default gun is actually like really good. I'd give the Hecate a little bit higher spot because this is kind of a weird gun to use. You have to play it on Desert Storm kind of, and then play certain angles with it. But if you do, it actually becomes really, really good again. It does have the same conversions. All of them are like a 2 out of 10, except Rat Shot. Now, Rat Shot is actually kind of interesting because you can run that CQB barrel on it and you will get a little bit more in terms of fire rate. Now, it's still not great, but it is a heck of a lot better than only having 1 bullet. The spread on it is not very good, but you can one-shot people with it, and it does have 120 RPM. Still like a 3 out of 10, but... Oh, I thought I killed him. I was like, oh my gosh, it kills so far. Yep, see, that's what I'm talking about. Then we have the Steyr Scout. Now, this gets 500 out of 10. If you're running the best setup, as you can see, you get aimbot, which is carry handle sight, short barrel, aka light barrel, vertical grip, ballistics tracker, and 5.56. As you can see, you get aimbot. Oh my gosh. I wasn't trolling, dude. I wasn't trolling. You get aimbot. Now, this is called the Forged, and it's actually the best sniper in the game. You can run default ammo with it. Default ammo is probably like an 8 out of 10 because the SVDS is better. But if you run this exact loadout, I will show a picture of it on screen. Yes, it becomes a weapon called the Forged, and you get free aimbot with it, and it also does 1,000,000 damage. So it's really good to use this ammo type and all this stuff on it. It also has a conversion called 376 Steyr, which gives you an 85 RPM one-shot kill to the torso, which sounds great, except the SVDS exists. And the SVDS basically kills all these other snipers. I'd still give this one like a 7 out of 10. It has lower handling, as you can see. It only has 4 rounds, but it can have a +1, so it can have 5. And it has really freaking awful recoil, and it does 19 min damage. So if you're not hitting headshots at range, it does no damage, but it does give you a close range one-shot kill torso, which is not too bad. Next up, WA 2000. Now, the WA 2000 right now is kind of in a weird spot. A lot of people aren't really liking it. So the default ammo does 72 times 1.35, which is almost enough to one-shot torso, but it does not. So it's only a one-shot headshot sniper rifle, but it has really high RPM of 250. But you know what gun has more RPM, but can actually one-shot? It's the SVDS. So yeah, default ammo on this is like a 2 out of 10. The handling and stuff on it is not very good, but it does have 7.5mm, which has the ability to one-hit kill torso. I don't know how far, because that damage graph is weird. But basically, if you want the ability to two-hit kill all ranges to limbs, which it could already do, but actually one-hit kill torso, does have that ability, like a 6 out of 10. It's okay. Then you have 300 Win Mag. A 300 Win Mag, what is the upside of this again? You get slightly better bullet velocity and a little bit more min damage in exchange for, what? Nothing. Yeah. This is a fine sniper, I guess, but yeah, the SVDS is simply better. Here is the NTW. I missed. So this is basically a 50 cal, but bigger. It has 28 RPM, which is a little bit faster or about the same as the Hecate, depending on what loadout you're running with that one. It has 2400 bullet velocity, which is pretty low, but it has 20 studs a pen and does 110 to 99 damage. So it can one-hit kill to the limbs up to 245 studs, and it can one-hit kill to the torso all ranges. However, it has a major drawback, which is that you can only aim down sights if you're crouched or if you're prone, or if you are basically, what is that even called? If you're standing in front of like an object you can essentially put the bipod down. And then when you aim down sights with it, you can't actually move anymore, which makes it really freaking annoying to use. However, if you do use it correctly, it is honestly not a bad sniper. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. Then we have 20 by 110 conversion. Now this conversion is super bad, I'm not gonna lie, but it's pretty funny. So basically what it gives you is much higher pen, and it does 100 damage all ranges at least, so it can always one shot, even limb, even long range. How did I miss that? I'm bad with this gun. I'm just gonna shoot the wall. Wait. Okay. So yeah, you can only single load with this conversion. It fires a lot slower, but it does deal a lot of damage, which doesn't really matter that much. It does have 35 studs a pen, which is insane. It does a lot of damage, which is cool, but yeah, it's not really necessary. The default gun already one-shots basically all the time. Up to 250 studs, it can one-hit kill to the limbs, and then after that, it's still a one-hit kill to the torso. So there's really not a reason to use this ever, but it is pretty funny. And if you wanted to trick shot, it will never hit marker, so you'll always hit your trick shot. But there is one other attachment I wanted to talk about. 14.5mm conversion is the worst conversion in the game. This is a conversion that cannot even torso kill at long range. Essentially what you're getting here is better handling and a little bit more RPM in exchange for your limb kill goes away at 50 studs and your torso kill goes away at 250 studs. Why would you ever use this conversion? I don't know. The NTW is a weapon that is supposed to one-shot, and you're removing the one-shot. And then last up, we have, of course, the Obres barrel. Now, the Obres barrel is interesting because you can actually walk around while you're aimed on sights, and then you also don't have to stand next to an object to ADS with it, which is pretty fun. However, you have much worse bullet velocity and worse damage over range. It's not a very good way to use this weapon. However, it's very fun. So yeah, if you want to run basically a meme loadout with the NTW, which is what most people like to do because this gun isn't like super fun to run without this barrel, go ahead. However, if you want to run it for actual effectiveness, I wouldn't use this. It's probably like a 3 out of 10. Just go prone. I really like to run 20 by 110 and the Obres barrel because you can just walk around and then fire your one bullet that one-shots people. It's pretty fun. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're new, I'm trying to get to 100k subs by the end of the year. Subscribe if you're new, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Have a nice day.